This shop in Villa Rica, Georgia was averaging around 35 grand a month, and they couldn't figure out why their leads weren't converting. Their phone was ringing, forms were coming in, but most of the conversations were just, how much for this? Can you beat this quote? Why are you so expensive? Does that sound familiar by any chance? Now, you see, the owner had been in the auto shop industry for 15 years and he opened his own shop in 2021. Solid operator, good reputation, but revenue was just stuck between 35 to 55K a month. And here's what he really wanted. He didn't just want more leads. He wanted real customers, people who valued quality, people who approve work, people who weren't shopping purely on price. And at one point, he was close to canceling, because from his perspective, leads were coming in, but they weren't turning into real revenue. This is a problem, a lot of auto shops face. So we looked at the data and we realized the issue wasn't lead volume, it was positioning. Now, to be clear, marketing as a general repair shop isn't automatically a bad thing. In the right market, with the right demographic, it can work extremely well. But in his specific area, the broad general repair angle was attracting a very price-sensitive segment of the market. So he wasn't getting bad leads, he was just getting the wrong fit for the type of shop he wanted to build. And that's when we suggested something completely different. So instead of competing on price in the broad market, we repositioned the shop around European vehicles, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Porsche. Not because he originally asked for Euro only, but because that demographic in his area typically had higher income, higher lifetime value, and far less price resistance. So inside of the account, we paused the general campaigns. We paused anything and negated things that would bring in people who didn't own any European cars. We went all in on European targeting. And within 1 week, he went from doing 6 to 8 cars per week to 6 cars per day in the shop. Now, let's talk numbers. January was around 30K. By May, 87K. Over the last quarter, they've averaged 76K per month. They're now booked out 2 weeks in advance. He hired new technicians and added 4 lifts. Overall, an impressive 574% return on ad spend. So $141,000 in tracked sales from 24K in ad spend. That is front-end transaction value, not lifetime value that's inevitably going to come into the shop. And this is what he told our team, right? He said, the last 3 months has honestly been life-changing for me. And that is the part that matters, because this wasn't about running more ads. It wasn't about more leads. It was about aligning the marketing with the type of customer that made the economics of advertising work. Some shop owners don't necessarily have a lead problem. They have a positioning mismatch, or at least there's an opportunity there. And when they dial this in, everything changes. The quality of conversation changes. The approval rates change. The stress level changes. And running the shop starts to feel fun again. So if your shop feels busy in terms of the calls are coming through, but frustrating in terms of they're not closing, it might not be your pricing. It might not be your team. It might just be a positioning mismatch in your market. Anyway, I hope this case study helped.